for a different kind of master. They just choose masters, but they don't actually get rid of these masters and try to restore a democracy or a participatory system where people can share code, which is ideally what you want to have. Quite a few. There was the VLC developer who was challenging Apple a few days ago, and Stallman was very happy about that. He wrote basically they wanted to impose GPL compliance on Apple because Apple wants to throw things out when it doesn't comply with GPL. They don't really like the GPL very much. And it just shows you, Apple is in many ways just as bad as Microsoft. And I'm not just saying that because I'm trying to defend Microsoft here. It's true that Apple is also suing those phone makers, and it actually tries to block them from having certain features. And at the same time, this company is very intolerant of some types of free software. They're very happy with free software as long as it serves OS X. But if it serves someone else, they kind of drop the ball.
Well, staying on the ethos of being open, and I've just got a few bits of news here. I've pulled out a few articles which I've had the time to sort of grab my attention, have a little look at. And the first one we'll start with is Connect. I've been reading a few sites about some of the issues that the Connect, and for those that are listening that don't know, it's this newfangled motion sensor type device that you plug into your 360 to play games, similar to like I suppose like the Wii without the controllers. There's been an issue about certain skin tones being picked up on the sensor. I'm not going to go down the lines that some of the sites have. There's a lot of sensationalism out there about the Kinect being racist, and it's really rather silly. What I will mention, though, is just in the line of it being another issue. I've been reading some articles by a chap called Brian Crescent. He's from Geek.com, and they sort of cover all technology, new technology. And he had a few things to say about the connecting itself. And bearing in mind that we've had issues with it being where the optimal distance from the machine is allegedly 6 feet. So a lot of people in their front room, certainly my front room, I don't think I would have the space even if I wanted to install it in my house, because 6 feet is quite a distance, especially when you put children's toys and furniture in the way. But this is what Brian Crescent had to say from Geek.com. He attended a demonstration, and all these links will be available in the show notes, and I'll apologise now because my show notes will probably be quite late. I have another appointment later today. But he's participated in a demonstration, a live demonstration, and I think we can cast our mind back to quite a few Microsoft live demonstrations that have gone horribly wrong. I've got a mental image of Bill Gates sitting on a news report trying to get a voice recognition software to work. I could be wrong, but that seems to stick in my mind. And this is what he had to say. Right, just bear with me. Right, near the tail end of my demonstration, as I was sitting on a couch and slipping through the dashboard, the controls suddenly went crazy. The person showing me the console was confused initially, thinking that I was deliberately ignoring his suggestions on how to control things. So things start going a bit awry. Now, it has got a point to this, Roy, so please bear with me. The guy told me to hold my hand still, staring at the screen in front of me. I am, I said. He looked over at me and scowled. What's happened, he then goes on to say that a small metal arm sticking out of a camera from one of the reporters there has interfered with the whole system and brought it to its knees, basically. And this piece of technology is coming out very, very shortly. I think it's going to be out for Christmas. And as usual with these new technologies, it's going to be up to the people that dig into their pockets and spend their hard-earned cash to find out if there's any problems with it and how inhibitive they are to the technology. He's actually said this is a very bad sign in respect to the problems he's had, especially with the Kinect due out shortly. The fact he couldn't tell me what Microsoft would be doing to resolve the issue was an even worse sign. And I'd love to say that we can be sure Microsoft would sort this problem out before it goes to market, but experience might suggest otherwise if you've had a bad experience of Microsoft technology after you've spent on a Christmas present. I'm thinking now the red rings of death of the 360 and then numerous problems about this. And I said at the time when the Kinect was first released, the news of it, that this technology, in my view, is going to be used to drag out the 360 for a good couple of years in order for Microsoft to make a decent return on the 360 console, which saw quite a few, well, a hell of a lot of returns through problems with the hardware. Something else people considering buying one of these Kinect things for Christmas should know is that there was recently the GameCon Awards where the Kinect and I believe the Wii system and the Sony machine were put together. And it was actually Sony that won the prize. It appears to me that Microsoft PR is much louder than everybody else, which is why we're only sort of hearing of the Kinect and its upcoming release.
Yeah, I can probably give you some facts on that. A couple of things before, just hold the thought.
Mm-hmm.
The first thing about the Kinect and compared to the Sony Move, is it pronounced?
Yes,
Yeah.
the Move, yeah.
Sony has actually ridiculed Microsoft. I read in one place they spent, I'm not sure about the numbers, I know it's hundreds of millions of dollars just in marketing the Kinect. I'm not sure if it's $500 million. But it could be $500 million or 400. It's something very similar to the, and it's extremely high, but not many people talk about that. And Sony was trying to make fun of the fact that the reason you hear about Microsoft's product, which isn't a lot better than some of the existing or the competitors' products, the reason you hear so much about it is because money buys you coverage. It shouldn't be the case. It shouldn't be ideal, but that's just the way they work hand in hand. The media companies and the advertising companies and one of the things, the second thing actually, about the demos. I don't know when the demo took place, but I've been reading about this project since it was called Natal, and it goes back almost a year. And I've written lots about all kinds of failed demos, and even after they had finalized the design of the thing, and it's going to manufacturing and being stocked in the shops and everything else. It's pretty much clear they were rushing to catch. Do you know the release date for this thing?
I'm assuming it's Christmas. I mean,
because I'm not sure.
There was a point to me bringing this up because I didn't particularly want to start giving Microsoft some free advertising on a product.
Yeah.
But I think it's in time. I think they're taking pre-orders on Amazon already, and I believe that's for a Christmas release or very close
and they make lots of hype about that, even though it's not true. And if you check, they even say they sold out. Well, sold out what? Sold out the pre-orders. Oh, that's kind of like selling out things that don't exist. That's kind of an interesting notion. So they try to kind of hype things out, even if they don't sell the things yet. They already sold out. Well, they sold out. It's not even available for sale. But what happened was Sony was beating them to it, and and Sony was going to come out first with their controllers. So Microsoft was exceptionally concerned about that, and anyway, Sony will sell pretty well in most countries. But if you read the American sites, it will be dominated by. It's always generally dominated. Lots of Xbox this and Xbox that. It's because that's like the American or the Western choice, and Nintendo and that's the Japanese people, and if you look at the sales of Xbox 360 in Japan, it's just like you can count it in it's like 3 or 4 figures sometimes. Some weeks it's just like they sold like 2,000 units. It's really. It's like you can put it in one container and send it from China on behalf of Microsoft to Japan to just kind of sell it in 1 week in a country of 120 million people or something like that. So it's a really symbolic thing when.
Well, I think just briefly, I think the whole console market itself is not loyal and is very transient. I mean, I would cite, if you looked at the success of the original PlayStation and the PlayStation 2. It would dictate that PlayStation 3 should have been a horrendous success and everybody owning one. And of course, we saw the market shift again with Nintendo when they released the N64. That wasn't reaching the dizzy heights that the Sony PlayStation did at the time, and certainly in the UK and I believe in the US, it was the Sony PlayStation that people had. But then the tables turned later on, and the Wii was hideously popular. And I think with the console market, it is very unstable, and people's trends and the trends can change on the flip of a coin. The reason why, and thank you for humouring me for the last few minutes when I brought up this, because the reason why I brought up the Connect is not because I particularly wanted to delve into its inner workings. However, there are people that